VC, hard rock, heavy metal, and today industrial and EBM community because I'm extending this out into the industrial genre. Um, Actually not doing a vinyl update here. So this is a disclaimer. If you're vinyl only, I don't know. I guess you might not want to watch this. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm going to be sharing some CDs that I got yesterday. A cassette tape and actually a VHS tape. Throwing one of those in too. My friend Anthony Gober, who owns and operates Anchor Merchandising, is liquidating his CD collection and a bunch of other stuff. There's going to be a sale on Anchor Merchandising. Just throw this out now. This Friday, Black Friday here in the U.S., there's going to be t-shirts, select t-shirts for sale for $10. Bands, kind of like this one, Mortal. A lot of Christian stuff, but there's some bands that are not strictly Christian. And he's also putting up a bunch of the CDs that he has. A bunch of them are brand new, still sealed and pretty hard to come by. A lot of Christian, but there's some secular stuff in there. So I'm going to share out as quickly as I can. I don't want to make this too long. But yeah, if you're interested in any of the stuff I'm showing, he had multiple copies of a lot of the stuff. So Anchor Merchandising website has not sold CDs in the past, so you may actually have to click on a band and click on music to see if there is music available. You're going to want to wait to do that, I think, on Friday and Saturday. As of right now, the music is not up there and the sale prices are not showing for any of the other Black Friday sales. So just a disclaimer on that. So without any further ado, I am going to start with some of the industrial stuff that I picked up. So I went by there yesterday looking for one particular album in which he had, and my friend Ron from GTR Rock Realm shared out last week a CD from an artist that I was not familiar with. First time seeing it, but it had some friends from some big name bands on there. And so I couldn't find it online, kind of pricey. And so I thought, well, Anthony might have it. And so I had to drop some stuff off there. I asked him about it, and he and another friend start laughing. Well, they go out into the garage, and in less than a minute, they come back with P.K. Mitchell's, as far as I know, I think this was maybe his one and only album. I don't know anything about this guy other than he's a guitar player. He wrote, these are all Christian hymns, but he's updated them, revamped them. I've not listened to it yet other than a few clips, but it's called All Hail the Power, the Rock Hymns Project. And so yeah, that's him on the back there. So this is, I believe, the original press, Patriot Records, 1993. Well, a year later, it was repressed, different company, and this is Rugged Records. Same exact album. Both of these are sealed. And, but the cool thing about this was, for me, Jim Laverty from Barren Cross plays, I think, on most of the tracks, probably bass. And then also, we got Glenn Mancaruso on drums. And so this is VHS. I'm assuming that this is just like maybe a making of, maybe video clips. I don't know. I don't have a working VCR. I'll have to get my hands on one. And Robin Kyle also plays on here, who was lead singer for Red Sea and a few other really, really good late 80s, early 90s bands. He's a fantastic singer. So he also shows up on this. So I got all three of those there. I was just looking for like maybe one used copy, and I got all three of those. And then this little comp called Social Commentary. I have to throw on my spectacles here because even with these, it's really hard to read. This, let's see, Barren Cross, few tracks from Barren Cross from their later years, Neon Cross, P.K. Mitchell, probably some of the same tracks from the CD I just showed. A band called Nailed, Reflescent, Tide, Bride, a few bands that I'm aware of and few that I'm not. So I do have a working cassette player, so that was a good score. And then probably, riding off of that comp, here was another one, and this one is Premium Cuts, which also came in another design, another cover, and this is a comp with 3 Barren Cross, 3 Red Sea, 3 Neon Cross, and 3 PK Mitchell tracks, again sealed. Also Patriot Records, 1994. So that was really cool. So again, I went there just looking for that, and Anthony was like, hey, why don't you go through my stuff and see if there's anything else that you want. Well, I've been listening to a lot of industrial recently. Again, I go through spells, and there were a bunch of Christian industrial groups that I know of but haven't had any luck tracking down albums. So one of them, Chatterbox, which I believe this is their one and only release, Despite. So gave this one a listen. This was Tooth and Nail Records, 1994. And, most of these are used, but very few markings on the CDs, and the inserts are in good condition. So there's that. Let's see, the next one, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Deityphobia, we'll say Deityphobia, Fear of God, which I believe is their second release. I've got two of their CDs, but this was one that I did not have. And another by them, Digital Priests. And so this is a remix. This one's a little more gently used, but Anthony sold these all to me for a good price, so well used is fine. Here's another one, another remix album. This one is still sealed, and I know he had a few other copies of this. This is Fear of the Digital Remix. So, remix from what album I don't know, but the band that I'm currently wearing the shirt, I've got their first 2 studio albums, this one that I'm familiar with, but I've been wanting to get my hands on the Intense Records Presents. A bunch of this, the series was re-released on both CD and vinyl the last 2 years, but for whatever reason, this one and also Randy Rose's EP were not. So I was hoping to be able to find a good copy of both of these. And these EPs were the bands going back into the studio, sometimes covering their own material, sometimes doing cover tunes. Like I know one of the songs on here is a U2 cover, One Tree Hill. Not sure about the others, but glad to have this in my collection. Enjoy Mortal, really good Christian industrial. Another band, I've got their first LP or first CD. Did not have this one, so I'm glad to be able to pick up this one. And this is Under Midnight, and the album is Void. Good industrial, harder edged. I don't know, not industrial metal. I don't know that any of these really cross over into the metal. They're not like Screw or Godflesh as far as intensity, but kind of like what we're hearing in the background here. This is just a comp of some different lesser known bands. Here's one that Anthony had recommended, not familiar with, Wyrick, Aggressive State, and upon looking that up on Discogs, this is their, I believe their second full-length album, and Rugged Records. Not familiar with this group, but we'll give them a spin sometime this week. And then the last of the industrial, what I'm currently playing, this is a 2-disc mix of different bands. It's called Escape the Furnace Volume 1 and 2. Apparently there was another volume with 3 and 4, and you're not going to be able to read all those bands, but there's a whole mess of them. And looking through, I don't know that I was familiar with any of them, but what little bit I've heard of Disc 1 so far, Volume 1, I am enjoying it. All right, moving right along. Let's see. So I got through that pile. Now, kind of a mix. Some other, not most of what I've shown so far have been Christian. There'll be some more kind of thrown in here, but one that I saw in Anthony's collection that is become a little bit harder to find, even though this is a more later day Agent Steel. They do have a newer one that came after this one, but this was released on Mascot Records in 2007. And, I know folks wouldn't hold it in as high esteem as like their first two releases and their EP, but not even sure who sang on this. But I love the album covers. A big sci-fi, geek here, and that's probably Iron Maiden, Voivod, those bands with their kind of horror sci-fi album covers. I love Agent Steel's covers, so just reminds me of the X-Files. Happy to have that. Another band that was recommended to me yesterday, Armada. Not aware of these guys, didn't know of them. They are Christian. Don't know anything about the band or their music. So if anybody's watching this and you're familiar with them, this is a anthology, Hope of Glory. As far as I could tell, most of their releases were MP3s, and this one, I don't think this one. It doesn't appear to be an MP3. So this was a legitimate release, but not on a big label. As a matter of fact, there is no label information on it. Very little information about the band online. So yeah, again, if you know anything about them, definitely leave a comment in the under the video when you're done. Okay, next CD is actually a band member. One of the band members, lead singer, is somebody I've gotten to know from Sanctuary International. Have worshiped with him on some Sundays and gotten to speak to him a bunch, but wasn't familiar with his band. He even gave me a band pin from, I would say, back in the 80s, maybe the 90s. And this is actually a punk band, Christian punk, nobody special. And so the lead singer's Pat. I don't remember his real first name or last name, but I guess back in the day he went by Pat Nobody. And so not familiar with the music, but familiar with Pat. And so once I put this in a new case, and it is not a demo, I'll probably have him sign the front cover next time I get to see him. All right, next up, another one recommended to me. I would have passed this by. I was interested in it when I first looked at it because it's solid state records, and I'm like, oh, long-haired guys. That definitely looks metal. Looks could be extreme. Those guys look like late teens, early 20s. So I asked Anthony, what's up with this one, and he was like, oh yeah, that's an album from the guys from Extol. Well, if you're into extreme metal, black metal, death metal, and you'll venture into the Christian realm, Extol is an awesome band. In the past and currently, they're more recent stuff, but this was a side project by 3 of the members. It might have actually come out, it looks like it's 2000, so I'd have to look and see whether this came out when Extol was releasing their stuff, or if it came out prior to, where it kind of lands in their discography. But anything with the members of Extol is going to be worth listening to. So that was a band. They're called Linkcell, and the album is Solace. Again, year 2000, solid state. I do believe they had some other material that was released. Don't know if it was just full length or EPs. Okay, I referenced this one earlier. Another one of the Intense Records presents. This is volume 3, and this is a sealed copy of Rose, Randy Rose's EP. Again, I don't know how much of this is original material. Most of the time they go into the studio and re-record stuff, so maybe some songs I'm familiar with from their studio work from their full-length albums, but little EP. And I believe at this point I now have all of the of this series, which I don't remember if there was 6 of them. I'm gonna go say there was maybe 6. again, Anthony kind of went through his huge collection of CDs that he had and pulled this one out for me. He knows I'm a fan of Bride, and this is the, I believe, the first solo album by Dale Thompson, the lead singer, lyricist, and duo mastermind of the band Bride. Dale is so prolific. He comes out with stuff. It's almost monthly. He's involved in other bands' projects, kind of a gun for hire, but Dale is a great singer, great stageman. I've gotten to see Bride twice now at the Immortal Fest in Ohio. And so, yeah, this is his first one, just self-titled. Dale Thompson, more bluesier material. I love blues, Chicago blues, traditional blues, and so I will definitely be giving this one a spin, and I love Bride, so look forward to hearing that. And the last one that I'm going to share, I do believe that covers everything here, is actually, you look at the cover and you say, oh, that could be extreme metal, or I don't know, alternative metal, some kind of metal. This is SFC, which I forget what that stands for, but this is not metal at all. It is Christian hip-hop or rap. I know that, I guess Overstock, Boone's Overstock, that is, has re-released two of their albums earlier. I'd say, mid-career. This was, I believe, the last release by these guys. I've not listened to them. I did pick up one of the other late 80s, early 90s hip-hop, Christian hip-hop releases that was re-released just this past year. But so I thought, what the hey, I'll go ahead and give this a whirl too. If I like this, then I'll probably track down the other ones that were recently released. And I think that's all that I've got here. So I will go ahead and put in a link to Anchor Merchandising. It is just anchormerchandising.com. Again, if you want to get some swag at reduced prices this Friday, and or any of these CDs or anything like this, especially if you're hunting down hard to find Christian CDs. Can't help you. I don't think he's got records for sale, but any CDs, even you might want to shoot Anthony and just send him a message and see if he's got it. I'm sure he'll work out a good deal for you. So thanks for watching, and it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you that celebrate here in the States. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up, like, and if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them. God bless, and thank you for watching.